I received a phone call back in 2000 from a woman who was in her mid-90s. Her name was Almira Quinn. She asked if we were interested in any items from Fort Walla Walla, and of course I replied, we are very interested. When I stopped by to visit Miss Quinn, she was sitting in her chair and she had this wonderful cape on her lap. I could tell it was an early military piece, and then with her history it had the affiliation with Fort Walla Walla. She explained to me that her family was so poor that they were unable to afford a winter coat, and she said, my mama made me wear that old soldier's cape to school. The other children teased her relentlessly, and when she shared the story with me, even after 85 years, her eyes reddened and kind of glazed a little bit with some formation of tears. You could tell that 85 years later, the story still hurt. And I asked myself, why would a woman keep a thing like this that caused so much pain? Well, the answer was in the basement. In a corner of the basement was a series of shelves with artifacts and tags laid out. They were all family items with little stories recorded on these tags. Miss Quinn had her own museum recording family history. When you record your own history, it's important to record both the good times and the bad times. Thus, her keeping the coat, reminding her of how poor they were early on in life, was an important part of her family heritage. Sitting on top of a stack of material was this large green wooden trunk. And on that trunk it had her name. She said nobody was interested in the footlocker, and I said that we'd be very interested because we would like to tell more stories about women's contributions during World War II, and she said that we could also have the footlocker and its contents. I was very excited to see that the footlocker was filled with World War II memorabilia. We had newspaper clippings talking about the different places she had worked and different events from the war. We had photographs with her co-workers and a number of soldiers that had been served through her service as an Army hostess. There was also this wonderful little box that was filled with World War II artifacts, including insignia and patches from a number of different soldiers who had visited the service center where she was working.